Welcome back. There is a live look outside. Gorgeous view there from the Oregon coast. That's our Inn at Spanish Head Resort Hotel camera in Lincoln City. Thanks for watching Afternoon Live. Okay, are you feeling frustrated or even hopeless about all the political upheaval in our country? You are not alone. Joining us now with tips on how to regain your sense of peace, we welcome back psychologist, our friend, Dr. Leah Katz. Great to see you.
It's good to see you too. Thanks for having me.
Great timing after kind of a wild weekend talking about the political scene.
Yep.
Lots of big feelings for a lot of people.
Yep.
So we have some good strategies for all of us to follow. No matter where you are in the political spectrum, we've all got some things to work through.
Absolutely. I always like to say there's such a difference between content, what the details of what we're dealing with are, and the process. And the process is where we can find most help. Like the process is focusing in on the stress, focusing in on the uncertainty, focusing in on how your body's feeling with the emotional roller coaster and like the ups and downs of everything that we've all been through. So, yeah.
Starting with kind of identifying things that you can and can't control.
Yep.
It makes sense when you break it down like that, but with all those things spinning through our minds, it can be hard to get back to a basic place like that.
Absolutely. And I think that skill is so generalizable whenever we're experiencing any big stress. And I remind my clients of this all the time. Focus on what you can control and try, and this, I know it's easier said than done, but it's important, and try and accept what you can't control. So it's acceptance work around the things that you cannot control and really honing in and paying attention to the things that you can control, because there's always things that we can control.
There always are things we can control, and then you can kind of focus on where your energy is well spent instead of just spinning your wheels constantly, not really getting anywhere.
Exactly. And bringing intention to stress is a coping strategy in and of itself. It's so easy to ruminate and get stuck in our thoughts. And when we snap out of it and we say, okay, they're naming what's happening, there's stress here, how can I be intentional with it and with myself around it? That changes everything.
You have lots of great strategies for us in terms of even what information that we're taking in. Stay informed, but limit your exposure to all types of media, because you just can't be on a 24-hour news cycle.
No, it's just not healthy for us. And I like that, because I think sometimes we go to extremes of like, well, I need to know what's happening and I need to know what's going on in the country, so I can't not know and I can't not watch. So it's honoring that, but it's being very, again, intentional and setting boundaries around how much you're exposing yourself to, what you're exposing yourself to, and how it's making you feel, So like, I think a way of breaking this down that makes it more understandable and maybe easier to remember is, what's my intention? Why am I doing this? And how's it making me feel? And letting the answers to those two questions guide you.
And then going off of that, figuring out what self-care could work for you, stepping away from screens for a while and doing other things that bring you peace.
Exactly. And self-care, I think, is something that we hear a lot. And here's the reminder that self-care is just taking care of our mental and our physical well-being, in whatever that means for you. It's so personal.
Connecting with supportive people, that's also a huge thing.
It's huge. And actually, when we look at research around going through stress and going through hardship, the social support that we have is the #1 factor that predicts how well we do with the stress. And here's the interesting thing, it's not social support, so it's not how much am I actually talking to my people, it's just knowing that you have people. So maybe if you're watching this and you're struggling, thinking to yourself right now even, like, who are my people, who are the people that I can call, who haven't I maybe touched base with in a while, and how can that be useful and helpful for me?
Yeah, that's a great thing to fall back on. Who am I kind of missing in my life right now that might bring me some joy in a tough, chaotic moment?
Yeah, exactly.
Processing your emotions, your people could help you with that too.
Yes, that's a big one, and again, so generalizable. And I think that breaking that one down, because we hear about, processing your feelings, what does that actually mean? I think that if you want to just be really simplified about it, naming what's here for you, naming the feeling that you're having or feelings, just being really concrete with it, and feeling it in your body. So that's the piece that we often miss. So let's say I'm feeling anxious. I feel anxious in my body and my chest. And can I just bring an awareness to that part of me, maybe even hold that part of me, and let the anxiety work its way through me.
Okay. And we talked a little bit about limiting just your overall media exposure, but specifically social media.
Yeah.
That's a whole other rabbit hole that you've got to put some boundaries on.
I know. And the way that social media is structured is to keep us hooked and to keep us going. And when things are stressful and we're just watching one, it's doom scrolling, right? One scary video after the other, it's going to impact our mental health negatively.
And if you're really in a tough spot and you need help, you can always reach out to a professional.
Yeah, and that's a good reminder too, that I think sometimes people feel like I need to be in crisis or things need to be really falling apart for me to reach out to professional support. That's not the case. Sometimes when there's just a little touch of something, or even if you're feeling pretty okay, but you notice that there's something going on underneath the surface, you're just like not feeling too great, that's a great time to reach out to someone.
Yeah, and you can always learn more useful strategies to move forward with and other times in your life. Here's another great one: stay engaged in constructive activities.
Yeah, right, and that's a big one too, because again, we can get so stuck in a rumination loop and find ourselves just scrolling or laying in bed, but when you get yourself involved in activities, it shifts your energy.
And practicing gratitude and kindness, doing nice things for other people, that helps you in so many ways too.
That's profound, you know, and I think we take it for granted, and these are concepts that we know about maybe like in the back, but just bringing it to the forefront, that it's as simple as smiling at the person who's checking you out at the store, or keeping like write 3 things, you know, right now, or even just think 3 things that you're grateful for, because what that does is not only shift your energy, it primes you to start noticing the things that you have to be grateful for, which gives you perspective in hard times.
And that will help you, kind of transitioning into another one, maintain hope that there are things to look forward to, and there's a lot of good still happening in this world.
Exactly, and hope is really important, because when things feel dark or things feel bleak or you're overwhelmed, naturally our minds get pretty rigid and linear. Like that's all that we're thinking about, and I like to think about it as taking the blinders off, you know, like that's true, and that's where we process our feelings and we let ourselves feel whatever we need to feel, and know that there's more to the picture, that we can look at what's gone well in the past and what might go well in the future, and whether it's in our own personal lives or on a global level. Yeah, there's always, I think, hope that we can find.
There's always shades of gray. There's good things and there's bad things, and they coexist, and that's the messy part of life.
That's the messy part, but also the key to good living, to well-being, is being able to embrace all of it.
There you go. Great to see you. Thank you so much.
It's so good to see you too. Thanks for having me.
Of course, we'll have more information on our website at katu.com. We'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this.